What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about two cryptos in this video. We're going to talk about XYO and XDC. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. All right, it is the 19th of June. We'll start off with XYO and we'll finish up with XDC. All right, so it's probably going to be a little bit of half and half if my timing's on point. But if I get carried away with things, don't hate me for giving one of them more attention than the other one. Statistically, I'm likely to not give them both the same amount of attention, so let's just see how it goes. Looking at the daily time frame here, XYO, you got some good things going for you, actually. You really do have some good things going for you. I want to bring this down. I want to bring all these little indicators down a little bit. I don't know why they're taking up so much space, man. The MACD is taking up so much space, too. All right, there we go, yeah. The RSI does have bullish divergence, okay? You got higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low all the way throughout here, so you're maintaining that trend too, but just relatively speaking, these higher lows bouncing right off the oversold zone is nice to see. Bullish divergence right here with these lower lows. Low here, lower low, low here, higher low. Bullish divergence typically would call for a move that would take you back up to about 1 cent and above. It's nothing crazy, but something around there. Looking at the current price, we're looking at this from a low to a high on Coinbase. You are just below your golden ratio. You do have bullish divergence. It is what is going on? Why is it not letting me? What the heck is happening here? Am I just not allowed to click out of that? While you do have bullish divergence, there's no guarantee that you do move up to here, or up to where the divergence started. You might do that exact thing. You might just move right up to about 1 cent, find resistance before moving down lower. With the current look on this fib, I would expect that you do go down to the 786, 886 area, something like that. Stochastics don't look good. The MACD does have bullish divergence in all fairness, which is nice to see. No, I guess you got rid of it there. You might see a little bit of a break. You've been pretty damn red for a while on the MACD. You might see a little break, something like this, where you get a little green reading, just like this. Maybe today, tomorrow, going into the end of this week, over the weekend, but then you probably come down, right? Something like that. That's just a lower high in this kind of range here. So don't get too excited, XYO goers. If you move up about 5 to 9% from here, okay? I don't expect you to do too much, okay? Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and see if we can validate that. 1 hour time frame rejecting the overbought zone would suggest that we go lower, but you don't have to go lower than this low. It would suggest we go lower here, but maybe you find support at the 50, you go up, and then again you see that kind of 1 cent area, find that lower high overall, and then continue to proceed down. Stochastics are definitely suggesting that you go lower. You've seen this before, though, where you've moved lower in your stochastics. You did have that one more move up and then go lower. That's kind of exactly what I'm expecting you to do. The MACD looks good. You are right around that zero. You might get one more drive up, right? You'll see that bearish divergence form on the MACD as you get this higher high, and that again a little bit higher. All these things are basically outlining exactly what I've already said. You have a little bit higher to go, and then you'll probably find resistance. 4 hour time frame, MACD looks bearish. Stochastics look momentarily bullish, but probably bearish. You found resistance in this area before. And the RSI looks bearish too. So I think you have predominantly lower prices to go, but again, a little bit of volatility here. What's wrong with my voice? A little bit of volatility here is to be expected. I wouldn't be too surprised if you did go just above 1 cent there, okay? Inevitably, I do think that XYO is going lower, right? And the low areas that we're going to would be something from a low to a high here of about 009, yeah, probably just above 009, right at it, to 008, somewhere in this area. If you were to go lower, I would assume you'd get a double bottom and you'd bounce from there. You'd see an immaculate recovery. I don't think that XYO is going to see a lower low than this price. I'd be very, very surprised if that happened, but something a little bit lower, sure. Inevitably, you will recover. You will see higher prices. You're just finding support now. I mean, overall, your weekly time frame does look pretty damn bullish. MACD's finding support here. You might go a little bit lower here, but that's okay. Stochastics actually right at a point to turn around. You've got higher lows. Okay, I don't know what's happening, man. This computer's glitching today. You both have higher lows here in the MACD and in the stochastics, which is nice to see. Maintain that. You can go lower. It's nothing wrong if you go lower, but just maintain that, and I think you look fine. Same thing in the RSI. Higher lows is good to maintain. You could go a little bit lower, down to the 40, even just below there, and be fine, right? Look at, I mean, you've got these higher lows throughout your whole history. I can't draw a straight line to save my life. Let's just look here. higher lows throughout your whole history. You could go all the way down to the 35, 36 and still be fine. So a little bit lower, nothing wrong with that, and then you'll start moving up higher. When you do move higher, and I'm assuming that you will, low to high here, right off the golden ratio. I mean, it's perfect. You'll probably bounce right off of 009, you guys. You probably do bounce right in that zone, 009, 0081, something in that area, right? I'm very confident that you do. I don't believe that you go below this low at all. You're right at prior areas of resistance, the whole shebang. You definitely are going to find support here pretty damn soon. High to low, when it is time to move up, that next high. Actually, before we get here, let's just look at these prior highs real quick, okay? High here, low there. Topped off right below the 1414, right there at the 1272. Kind of uncommon, but it happens. High to low here, all these significant ones. High to low there, right up to the golden ratio, like to see. So something above the 1272, but below the golden ratio might be what we anticipate, which makes sense. That's your primary target zone for a reason. 1272, right at all-time highs. I don't know if that's all-time highs, but all-time highs on Coinbase's chart. And then the 1618, so something between 7 to 14 cents. I feel pretty confident in saying. Probably above 7 cents, right? Like 7.5 cents, which from here is a 7x to a 14x. So from the current price, let alone if you go lower, it's only going to grow as far as expectations go. But you have a 7x to a 14x potential, and you probably do stop more. I would even say 8x to 14x potential, just a little bit more than 14x even. So that's nice to see. When will that happen? Nobody knows, but when it does happen, it's going to be fast. I mean, these movements, man, they don't take too long to happen. So if you make this drop, you see this drop happen by the end of this month, you find support around there, I would think by the end of July, if not very early August, you're going to be up in this area. Makes a lot of sense to me, all right? That's XYO. Let's talk about XDC, all right? I don't know what's wrong with my voice today, though. Okay. All right, here we are at about 5.76 cents on this, the 19th of June. 21 hours left in the day. Let's look at you. Let's do the same thing we did. Let's just look at you overall real quick. Looking like you want to go lower with that fresh cross there. Stochastics look bad. RSI looks like it could go lower and be fine. You're probably setting up for some bullish divergence on your RSI, but typically, even though, yes, you have higher lows here, and yes, you do have lower lows, typically this is like a sucker's trap for people that don't know what they're doing. You do have bullish divergence, but I would say that you continue to bleed. Typically, bullish divergence is formed either from the oversold zone, like you're in it and you bounce right off of it, or from in it again, like you get in it. Both drives, both of these lows, this higher low will be in the oversold zone, or at least off of the oversold zone, not above it. Does that make sense? This is probably not bullish divergence. It will be. It's just incompleted, which implies that you go lower. Okay, let's look at the 1 hour, 4 hour time frame. See if you move up at all before you do go lower, because even though I am anticipating that you will go lower, and we'll get to where those targets are in a second, you could see a little volatility beforehand. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame here. I'm just going to automatic all of these so that I don't have to worry about it. Let's get it like this. Yes. The MACD, to me, doesn't look good. The MACD looks like you're more at an area to start moving down. If you move up at all, it's not going to be too significant, which makes sense. I'm not expecting anything too crazy here. RSI, a little bit of bullish divergence there. You had that move, though, and now you're finding resistance. Yeah, I don't know about that. Stochastics look bad, too. So I don't think you're moving up in the short term. I mean, if you do, I doubt you get above 5.9 cents. You're at 5.76, so I doubt you get above 5.9 cents if you are to move up. Let's see if that actually makes sense, too, from a high to a low. Okay, maybe you do get to like 5.94 cents at the highest, but I digress. Like that's the highest that I could see you going if you were to move up higher from here before moving lower, something in that area. 5.94. Trust me, that's just where it is. You can't see the numbers, but I can see the numbers here, right? 5.94 cents. You're at 5.76 cents now. So even if I'm not saying that you do go up here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're going to. I'm just saying if you do, that's the highest I could see you going to. Maybe you move up and you find resistance right here or right here. Maybe you don't move up at all and you move down. I wouldn't be surprised. Overall, all these indicators look bearish. Lower prices are coming in a very short amount of time. We're on the 1 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame also looks bad. Pretty damn bad. Bullish divergence, though. A little bit more bullish divergence on the 4 hour. Maybe you do get that move up before you go lower. Maybe you do move up About 5.9 cents right there, 5.9 to 5.94 cents right there. It makes sense. And then you move lower. Okay, so and I stand by the 4-hour more than I would the 1-hour time frame just because it's more significant. Okay, all right. And again, don't get your feelings hurt if that move doesn't happen. And any kind of move up from here, that's the highest that I would expect us to go to, okay? Looking at the MACD, definitely bearish overall. Stochastics bearish too, but you're at a point where you might move up a little. Come up, get these oscillators to hit the zero line, then reject, that whole thing, so it makes sense. So that's probably what you'll do. Inevitably, you will go lower. Let's throw a couple fibs on here and see if we can get some targets going on, okay? I mean, everything looks like you do want to go lower as far as like time goes or price goes. 5.5 cents to 5.1 cents. Does that make sense? Let's see. Let's put this on a weekly time frame, actually. I don't even know if we want this fib. It's kind of insignificant. Let's get a different fib on here. Hold on. Low to high. Huh. Okay. Curious. I'm going to take this low to high because it's more relevant. All right. You're at 5.7 cents now, XDC. I think you will drop down to 4.5 cents. It's a little bit of a discount, and I know you've been through the ringer, man. You've been dropping since January here. You're probably going to drop a little bit more because hold on. Oh, yep, that's my daughter. She probably like pinched her finger or something, or is protesting going to bed. I don't know what it is. My wife is eating her. That's what's happening. We're at 5.76 cents right now. Probably going to go down to that golden ratio zone. I think that makes a lot of sense because if you look at the golden ratio here, just right where that is, that's right around the 1886 of this low to high extension. You can see the 1886-200, these little purple lines right here, right in between the golden zone here. You're also at prior areas of resistance here. If I just get rid of all this, it's prior resistance, prior support right here, support back here, some significance throughout this range. And XDC likes to range, man. You can see that it does. It might make a lot of sense, actually, that you go down there. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with 4.5 cents. That's a very suitable area to find support. You'll find support there and then likely move up, okay? You are... I mean, if I'm wrong, man, let's just look at this real quick. Because you are looking at this pattern here. It's kind of a bullish pattern, right, with this tightening wedge here, this falling pizza pattern. Moving up like this, you would expect... Whoa. You would expect that you do move up in this kind of formation, not going to lie. And sometimes these patterns are actually notorious for fake outs that then revert back to the upside, but still that fake out could take you down to this area and that would be fine. It'd be very quick if it happens. Look, just like this, right? Very, very quick if it happens. Just like the highs, very, very quick if it happens. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. High to low. 1272 down to the golden ratio. Oh, man. All right, I want to change it a little bit, okay? If you don't find support at 4.5 cents, you will find support at 5.3 cents. You're at 5.7 cents now, though. It makes sense that you would go lower. Let's look at the indicators. You do have bullish divergence on your weekly MACD. That's nice to see. Nice. You don't have bullish divergence on your stochastics. You'll probably get set up for that, building out the case that you do go lower. And the weekly RSI, you can go lower and still be fine. You kind of broke out of this higher low trend, so I would anticipate you do go lower. So I stand by it. I really do think that 4.5 cent area is where you're going to go, but 5.3 cents at least. Okay, you're at 5.7 cents now. Whenever you move higher, and when you do move higher, I suspect, I mean, you're going to move higher than this high, absolutely. We look at this from a high here to a low here, if we can get it. 1 second, hold on. There's a plane flying around. Maybe they're just having fun. I don't know. Low to high. I feel like it keeps. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can hear it. If you're wondering what that noise is, it's not trucks going by or anything. It's like a low flying plane. Sounds like a small plane. Low to high here. 1272 down to the golden ratio. I would expect your next target area would take you up to the golden ratio itself. Wouldn't that be perfect? It makes so much sense. Golden ratio to golden ratio. That 5.3 cent area really might stand out. The only thing that I don't like about it, I like it because it's the golden ratio, okay? And you're showing respect on this fib. Absolutely you are. But I don't like it because as far as price action goes, it's really not in an area that makes sense. It would make more sense to go to the 0.5, and a lot of cryptos have been finding significance on their 0.5. But wherever, from the golden ratio here, from the 0.5, whatever in this area, up to this golden ratio. That makes a lot of sense to me. 23 cents, you're at 5.7 cents now. The average crypto is going to do something on the lines of like a 3 to a 5x. That's a 4x right there in the middle of what the average coin will do. That makes sense to me, man. And not by the end of the cycle. We're talking about probably the end of July. When you move up XDC, you like to move up with the purpose. You're boring. You're boring, and then when you're like XRP. When you move up, you do it with a purpose. So if I'm wrong about where you're going, I would only assume that I'm not bullish enough and that you go higher. I accept that you could move up to about 41 cents, but I'm sticking with that 23-cent price target. That's my expectation. I'm going to end the video there because my daughter is crying, and I feel bad for you guys. So I'm going to end the video there. I feel bad for her too. Don't get me wrong, but it's just bad timing. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.